Hello everyone, Anthony here once again with another devlog about the game that I'm currently building, the Lost Windjammer. And boy oh boy, what a progress I made last week. Spent a lot of time in Blender, I'm not gonna lie, but with some nice results. As you can see, the ship is upgraded from a cubish prototype to something that can be built upon as the first starter ship in the game. There were a couple point of interests on the ship. You can see the sails. The animations are done. They are still in Blender. This is just a simple cloth simulation with some wind, just to give something just some better than default planes. The normal animations will be implemented later on. It's not a big of a deal for now. You can see the steer. The steer is some. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's not as a traditional helm you can see on ships. This is some more futuristic, which could have its place in this apocalyptic setting. Also implemented the boat wakes, which you can see behind the boat. Very happy with that. The nets, must have on the ship, must have, because Trimaran is very narrow, as in real life. Yeah, the player needs to walk. A player needs space to do his shit. So pretty happy with the result. In the front, you can see the harpoon, which is basically just a pole for now. It's a placeholder. It's inspired. The planche you can see where I stand upon is inspired by the ship you can see in the movie Waterworld. Super interesting to have because if the player harpoons itself, if the harpoon was in the front of the ship, the sails would be in the way, and right now I created some nice space, so happy with that also. I reworked the ship, like I said. I needed to swap all the colliders, do all the buoyancy stuff for the water. It took me quite a while because I will live stream this in the next couple days to show how I made the player interact with the ship and how the ship floats and everything. Another thing I did was figuring out how windstones should work. For the people that don't know, for the people that didn't watch the first movie, devlog, better. Windstone is a very important item in the game. It has a chance to spawn on an island. The chance is very low, but because I know the seat on the top of my head, because I'm playing this every day and look at this view, I know there is a windstone on this island somewhere. So I'm looking for it. I'm very, very happy with how the game looks so far. The grass is a bit scuffy. It's a geometry shader. I still need to make better because the performance is kind of meh. My PC, it's good, but I mean, the density is very low right now, as you can see, just for the performance sake. As you can see, there is our windstone. Look at this beauty. A very magical thing. Did some particle effects, just a mesh with some normal maps, emission maps, where the cracks are. It's an emission map. And instead of looting the stone, you can extract the windstone, and I'm very happy with that mechanic. It's a dissolve shader I made. Basically, I found on YouTube, I made a shader and I put them into an animation alongside. It was a bit tricky because I had the normal shader with the emission maps, and then I had the dissolve shader, so I need to make one shader. So it was a bumpy ride, but I made it work. I'm very happy with the result. I also made the UI, as you can see. I'm not using the canvas anymore. I'm using the UI toolkit, and I encourage everybody that's building a game with some UI to use the UI toolkit, because you have something that's called USS, which is basically CSS, but for Unity, where you can just code your styles, use variables, and if you need to change something, for example, a color or something, it reflects on everything. It's amazing. Can you imagine making a website without CSS? Well, me neither. Well, that's exactly for games. So I think that was it for this devlog. See you in the next one.